Hi everybody, today is Q&A day, so we're going to do a Q&A session from on here and specifically looking at the T7. So we've got some Q&A questions for the T7, so keep those coming in. First off is a question from Kevin. One is to do with the navigation system, so that was the first one. He was asking about map updates for the vehicle and do you have to pay for them, what's the cost involved in those as well. So vehicle, the Ocean I'm sitting in now comes standard with navigation that's on here via the display panel on here. Navigation system in here. The beauty of these vehicles now is that they are fully integrated, so they all come with the data sim, which allows them to use the SOS breakdown system that's in there as well, but it also allows the vehicle to communicate with the outside world, and that's very important for updates, and that all those updates come in the form of software updates that can be pushed to the vehicle, but also things like map updates and things like that. So those will come as required for the vehicle. So on all the modern Volkswagen vehicles that's on there as well, as you haven't had to pay for map upgrades. You've been able to do those either by on some of the first models via a card, etc., or on the new models you've been able to do that direct, and it's just been part and parcel of that has actually just updated automatically in the background as things have moved on. So I hope that kind of answers that question for you. We had two other questions. One was regarding the folding mirrors. Can you drive with the folding mirrors? Obviously you can't drive normally along the road and have your mirrors folded in because you can't see behind you and things like that. You do need your mirrors that's on there as well. But this is in reference, I think, to going into a garage. So if you're driving and you stop and you come in from on there, you can flick the button round on here, which would then move in the folding mirrors that's in here, and then obviously you can then creep forward that's in the vehicle to get to where you need to be, and then vice versa to come out and do that around as well. And then obviously you can just pop those to come back in as you're coming from on there. So yes, you can. Obviously you can move them in and then drive them along from in there, but obviously you couldn't do that on the open road. It's purely for in and out of a garage or something like that that's there. And then final question was about levelling. So when it shows you what the level of the vehicle is and whether the vehicle actually self-level, and the answer to that is no, 100% will not self-level. So that is just as a guide to give you an idea how level the vehicle is, and obviously then you could either move the vehicle on a different part of the ground, or you could use chocks, for example. We've done videos on that before to show you how to get your vehicle level. So next question is coming from Adam, and for that I need to move on to the side of the vehicle. Adam has asked, what happens if this table is up, so this table is here, and this door shuts? Well, easy way to answer that one. This is what happens. Not a lot. Can't get past it. So obviously if that does happen for any reason, it won't damage anything. The door just stops on here. It's exactly the same function as if you had your hand or something caught in the door. This door, with it being electric on the Ocean, senses that and obviously stops it from moving that's in there. Obviously if it was a manual door, it wouldn't obviously do that because it wouldn't be from manual, but on the electric version. So if that does happen, obviously what you'll need to do is just move this out of the way, press it so that the door can then actually fully shut, and then just open the door again so that it becomes back to where it was, and then you can just pop the table back in and you're back to where you are. If it does ever happen, it'll simply be probably because somebody's probably touched the button that's on here as well. What you can do is you can turn off these electric doors, so you can put them into manual mode. So if you are somewhere, for example, and you know you're going to be leaving the doors open and that happens to you, you can just turn them off so it's not actually opening or closing anyway. But I can't see that happening. But as you can see, it wouldn't damage anything if that was open. Obviously it will just move back as well. And the manual version I'm just telling you about now is on the dash. So your manual controls for your electric door is on here. So you can open them electronically from the front, that's here, but you can also press the button there and that will actually turn off that door. So the door now on the side here, you can still do it, but it's very stiff. You can feel it because you're working against that motor instead from on them, but obviously it won't then come open or shut on the button, for example. That just doesn't work. We've got two questions which actually have pretty much related together. The first one was from Simon, and Simon was asking can you fit any extra seats to the Ocean or the Coast? I'm gathering because it's the same platform that's on there as well. But somebody else has also asked about, can these seats go further back if you take the bed out at the back? Well, currently, as we stand at the moment, I have removed the bed in the back, and these seats are at the furthest back position that they can go. But with them being as back as they are now, they're not really useful as seats in the Ocean model because we've got this above here. So if I'm sat on this seat, for example, here at the back, obviously this is going to hit my head, so it's not going to be particularly comfy from there. So if you're using it as a seat, really, I think that is probably as far back as that vehicle you can go, and my head is not obviously hitting this at the back. Now if you've got a Coast model, you haven't got this in the Coast, so you're all good. You can go straight back, and you probably could put this seat all the way back to here, and that's with nothing in the back, and that gives you your maximum space inside the vehicle. However, moving on to Simon's question, can you put another seat that's in here? So this rail system is the same rail system that's on the multivan. It's no different to on here as well. As we know, it's exactly the same as what we can get on the beach. The beach has more seats in the vehicle. So technically speaking, yes, you could add more seats. So if you're doing it in here, for example, you'd have to put a seat that could probably swivel that's in here in the front, a fixed one position that's here. So very much like the previous model, the 6.1 that had a fifth seat option. There is no fifth seat option with this vehicle, and it's not something which I'm pretty sure you will not be able to get from the factory to add another seat in here, because it doesn't really work with what it's designed to do. And the fifth seat on the old model didn't necessarily work so much, and this is coming from somebody who has a fifth seat currently in his California Beach, because that works within that model to give me that extra seat that I need, which comes from here. So it does have a use, it does, but that's on that beach model, for example, that's on here. On something like this, if you're using it as a hybrid vehicle, could you get one? Yes, you could. Can you get it from the factory? No, you can't. So you'd be into the reasons of trying to find a seat from somewhere and to put it in. So the answer is technically yes, you could. Should you? Could you? Is another question altogether. You have got a thing if you've got extra seats in vehicles as well. The vehicle must be designed for that. So obviously you need to make sure that your insurance company are aware you've got more seats in your car. There is a little bit more involved with that as well, depending on the type of vehicle. Something like a beach, for example, using the old 6.1 as a good example. The beach that was in there was designed to carry anywhere between 4 people and all the way up to 7 people, and you could get that within that actual derivative of that vehicle. Obviously this vehicle is designed and built as a 4-seater and as a 4-seater only. Last couple of questions now. So we've had a question reference the manual switching of the gearbox. So automatic gearbox as standard, you can't get it any other way. It's on the dashboard on here. So we've got drive and S for sports. So if you're in drive, you want to go into sports, you just press it down again, that'll put you into sports, which basically just allows the vehicle to rev quicker throughout the rev range that's in there, so it gives you a sportier, quicker drive. But the question was referenced manual gearbox. How can you switch it into manual? Well, we've got paddles on the steering wheel that are just behind here. We can see them, a bit like you'd have on a racing car. And I'm not comparing this to a racing car, but these are the same kind of paddles that's on here. So on the paddles on either side, you can, if you touch it into drive to drop down, it will put you into manual mode, and then obviously then you can up and down, plus and minus on the paddles to change gear as you would want to on the side of there. And that is how you do it and get into manual mode. Last 2 questions now, and then we'll address a common theme in some of your comments reference the vehicle as well. So first off, somebody's asked about delivery times. How long would it be a factory order? So currently, as it stands at the moment, we think if you put a factory order in for exactly what you want, depending on model, you'd probably be looking somewhere between 4 and 6 months for that vehicle to arrive. However, there is a lot of vehicles in stock. There's quite a few that have been ordered ready to go. So if you weren't so picky on what options or colour you wanted, for example, that was on there, you could probably get one pretty quickly. If you wanted to, you could have it, for example, this month, next month, or in March. So there is stock already coming through for the vehicles as well. So, and with the new T7, with this variation that's here as well, I think we'll be seeing a lot more of that, because you don't need to order all those things that are on the vehicle. They come so well kitted out to start with. Be more about colour choice and things like that you might want as well. So that was answering that question. And then finally, final question that we've been asking is about, I keep mentioning this, the T7, and some people have mentioned, well, it's the multivan, isn't it? Well, the multivan is the car version of what we call, so the people carrier version is what the multivan is called. But the platform that multivan is based on is the T7 platform. Now we're used for T7, T6.1, T5, T4, T3, T2, T1, etc. That's in there within the commercial range. And obviously we've got the new transporter, which we're going to be doing a video on very shortly, which is available to order as we see, because we're doing this video now today. And that is not the T7, and that's the important thing to clarify. That's the new transporter. That's a Ford Volkswagen collaboration, which they're doing together. So this vehicle in its format that we see here is classed as the T7, so it's the Volkswagen brilliant, and that's why I keep using that terminology for this vehicle. And yes, it is based on the multivan, so the multivan and the California. So the easiest way to explain it is you've got California and you've got multivan. Those are the two styles, let's say, the vehicles that's on there, but they're all based on the T7. So the T7 branches out for those two particular model range on there. Will we see more things come from this T7 platform in the future? Let's wait and see, should we? Maybe they will, maybe they won't, I don't know. Will there be more commercial versions of this with maybe windows on the side, but it's a van in the back for you to use? I don't know. But obviously, if we do find out anything like that, we will let you know. But that's basically the structure. So finally, to round off the video as well, one common theme throughout a lot of the comments which you've made on the last couple of videos that's on here as well has been to do with what's underneath here. And this is the one burner hob. A lot of controversy over this, so we might as well address it. There's no point just putting our head in the sand and going, nobody's talking about it that's on here. Previous models have had two burner hob that's on the in the ocean, or the top level specification. We've now moved to a one burner hob, as you can see, that's in here as well. And there's a couple of reasons for that, obviously design wise, space wise, market research, depending on what people are doing with the vehicle. Another thing to bear in mind as well is obviously the vehicle is designed for worldwide use, and different markets have different things which they use it for. Now, me personally, as somebody who has a camper van, I've got California Beach. My Beach only has a one gas burner that's in there, so that's what I'm used to. So this is no different to what I've got in my current vehicle that's there as well. Is I personally don't find it, because I don't do a huge amount of cooking in the vehicle. Most of the cooking I do with the burner, I actually do it outside the vehicle, or do a combination of both. I've got a little stove which I do because I don't want any of the smells and stuff in the van that I'm doing with it as well. So I do a lot of outside cooking as well. So this vehicle, the Ocean and the Coast, both come with just one gas burner. The Beach again has a pull out from the rear, which again just has one gas burner. So all across the range they've all got one gas burner. That is as they are, that's as they are designed. I'm sure after this there'll be comments in the comments box about that, whether you do or do not like it. I think the big thing here is if you've already got one of these, if you've already got a T-Series California, so if you've got either a T6, T5 California that's in there as well, as you're used to that, and that's what you're used to having. Moving forward, that's on the vehicles now, as the technology gets better and better, you're certainly going to see a lot more, I think, electric things coming out, so electric grills, etc. You may recall, if you've seen it when we went to Dusseldorf to look at the concept of this vehicle, it did have a pull-out barbecue section, which you get was like a grill hob and top, which you could plug in, which was plugged into the inverter side of things that was in there. That was in the concept vehicle. Whether we'll have more things like that in the future, there are the sockets on the side to enable to use things like that. I know I've been camping away with friends. We've done that. We've been on an electrical hookup, and we've actually had a hot plate which we've used for cooking, again because it's just a little bit easier than having the gas on as well. So maybe this is just technology moving forward as we go from there. So I thought we'd address that now, and I'm sure this is going to come up again within the comments that we have as well that's there. So thanks for watching today. Hope you enjoyed the Q&A session. Keep those comments coming about T7. We'll do another one of these probably in about a month's time or so, and any other questions that come up there and more things that we're finding out, because we are still discovering this new vehicle. As I said, that we've got them on site with us now, so we're getting to play with them. If you don't subscribe and you want to see more content, as always, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, and we'll see you on the next video.